Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs, actually, believe it or not, in the history of mankind. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I guess that's all I got. Is that my whole intro? Am I leaving something out?
I think you got it.
Today is Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021. As you guys know, it comes to you every single day at this time, 11:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Quick reminder, I will be going on vacation. I'm leaving after the show tomorrow, so we'll be having a normal live stream tomorrow morning. The show will still go on while I'm gone. DZ will be filling in, and then around the blockchain will be going on like normal every day this week.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. We're going to have a TJ DZ takeover.
TJ DZ takeover. Some of my worst fears.
I know.
Actually. You'd think I would stop elevating the people around here. No. Start suppressing them.
No, you like to elevate potential to success.
That is true. I do like to elevate potential to success. You guys like the shirt today? We got. Now I want to know what do y'all call these? What do y'all call these popsicles? I know what I call them. Astro Pops.
Astro Pops?
Some people call them Bomb Pops. I call them Astro Pops. Some people call them America Pops. That's Ada running around back there. Ada's trying to cause a ruckus. And guys, also, if you notice on my shirt, I'm. No, you can't. Get over here.
She's feisty today.
Why are you so, Ada? Why are you so feisty?
She's excited because we minted another block on our Ada staking
pool. Look at this
pool.
top. What is she doing?
She does not want to be held right
She looks
now.
she's like a little monkey, like climbing around me. Here, play tambourine for money. Oh my gosh. TJ's dog hates. Okay, send her out of here. Get out of here, Ada. If you like TJ, you're dead to me.
Oh, wow. Well,
it kind of felt like I was holding like a bobcat. It was like just clawing in my shirt. Rip my shirt? No, she didn't rip my shirt. She's lucky. On my shirt today, you will find a Statue of Liberty. We love America. And somebody's saying I can't get on the Disneyland child rides because of my height. It's quite funny, guys. Had Macy on yesterday, which, by the way, I am taller than Macy, just so y'all know.
yeah, you'll see that at the end of the daily hit.
If we watch Hit Network, you'll see we do a height comparison. Guys, have a Statue of Liberty on here. We love America, as you know, on this channel. We're big Americans. But we just had some breaking news come out of New York City. And I feel like this is something that has possibly been causing some FUD around Bitcoin. The story this morning was that the New York State Attorney, the AG, the Attorney General, had a really big announcement. And some people were taking that to mean this was going to be something coming down on crypto. We're going to be looking at some crypto regulation stories. But that was the buzz around crypto Twitter today, that something was coming, whether they were going to be coming after Tether again or whether it was going to be, something against Binance or whatever it was going to be. Well, here's what it actually was, guys. It had nothing to do with crypto. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, has now been indicted on 5 counts from the New York Attorney General, and couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He sexually harassed women. He violated federal state laws. And I think, a big part of this is he used his position of power to be a douchebag. So, big surprise. A lot of powerful people do that. So the good news here is, though, that this does not have anything to do with crypto. And so we're going to continue on. The markets have been dropping. I know a lot of people are feeling a little antsy, right? I mean, we went over a big old bobcat. It's pretty funny. A lot of people were really antsy leading up to this, and we see the Bitcoin price has been dropping. But let's just remember where we were just a few short weeks ago, where people were talking about Arcane Bear said it yesterday on the channel. He said, yeah, the last time I was gone, I said I thought we were going to go down to 22. I don't think he thinks that anymore. We're not going down further. Now, we may go further down. A lot of people are saying 36.6 is a number I'm seeing a lot of people talking about. Yeah. Would be a healthy pullback. We know Wendy talked about yesterday on Around the Blockchain that we could see $2,200 to $2,300 Ethereum for a pullback. It's hard for me to see a really large, who did this? A really large Ethereum pullback. You're going to move to Market Watch here. And you can see, like, just in the last 10 minutes as the story broke, we did move back up $200. We were right around 38,000 exactly. Ethereum's been holding so strong. $2,500 basically, still up 10% for the week. Look at this. I mean, I'm telling you, we've really got to start examining what the rest of this bull run is going to look like for these altcoins. Because if Ethereum is able to, decouple, and do we have this story today about Dan Moorhead? Is that in here somewhere? Dan Moorhead of Pantera Capital was actually talking about how he believes that we are going to see Ethereum move off. I don't know why none of the stories I sent ended up on here today. But anyways, guys, also we did have some people making some comments. If you guys didn't know, there are New York also has some stuff going on where they said, I think maybe it goes in effect today. You're not able to go to restaurants unless you have the jab. So that's a real thing. So we'll see what happens. I suspect a giant. What's the opposite of an influx? A deflux?
That sounds right.
A deflux. You're going to have a New York deflux. A lot of people are going to be moving out of there. So very interesting to see what's going on with California as well, because California, there is the governor recall election coming up. So he's got to be a little careful what he does here in the coming weeks. New York is going extreme right now. So we'll have to see. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys down with that? I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it that much on the channel, but so we're not. But you guys can drop comments on what you think about that stuff. All right, so back to the markets here. We do have, look, guys, yesterday we were at 1.62 trillion. Today we're at 1.55 trillion. Not down tremendously. 24-hour volume is 77. Outflow, note flux, efflux, flux capacitor.
Reflux.
Somebody said flux capacitor. I like that.
That's the first thing that came to my mind, too.
Oh, it was?
But it's like acid reflux. But
yeah. 24-hour volume, 77 billion. It is down pretty considerably. Ethereum dominance dropped a little bit to 18.7%. Bitcoin dominance up, or not up. I think it's about where it was yesterday, 45.9%. But what you'll see is there were some big Bitcoin moves last night. And what we saw at that point was how many likes we have?
We have 6,000 people watching right now, only 1,000 likes.
Yeah, let's go ahead, guys. Before we really get into it, make sure we hit those like buttons, get more people in here. All you got to do is, if you're watching on mobile, exit out of the live chat, hit the like button, then go back to the mobile chat icon. If you're watching on smart TV, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, hit more actions, more options, and then hit the like button. But we did see Bitcoin dominance rise a little bit last night, and now it looks like it has subsided a bit. What's really interesting is, last night, I was getting all kinds of alerts about really big pumps overnight from different coins. Mm-hmm. One was up 40%. What coin was it? Numeraire had a big pump last night. It looks like it's now gone. Maybe it's not even in the top 100 anymore. But I saw one thing that was up 40% overnight. Voyager token, 28%. Perpetual Protocol. Do you know anything about this one?
Nope.
Never heard of it. Perp. What a great ticker. 14%, Terra Luna up 13%, Stack 7.7%. Ravencoin, Elrond. Elrond had some big news today, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
Don't forget to be following us on Twitter, by the way, guys. 474.1 thousand followers here on Twitter. You make sure to enter our contest here. But yeah, let me check that out. Let me see what Elrond has going today. So I'm pretty sure they got a big announcement hitting today. Let's see. Everything mankind has achieved was through building. See the thread. With all essential components in place, it's time for the Elrond ecosystem to scale bigger, cheaper, faster. It's time for builders to pick up the tools and shape the future of finance governance. Building is a process. Today, we highlight the first step of 3 hardworking teams building on Elrond. So here they've got some builder spotlight. Elrond.tax, AeroVec, and Elrond. I guess these are all projects being built on top of the Elrond project. So very interesting stuff going on with Elrond. This is one I say continue to watch. A lot of the same things we saw with Solana, the excitement leading up to it, finally got that massive pump earlier this year. Elrond, we feel like, is going to be one of the next ones to get those pumps. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Solana been doing good recently. Somebody in the chat said new all-time highs. It didn't hit a new all-time high, but it is moving that direction. Still has a ways
No,
to go.
new all-time all-time high was 55.91.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
still has a ways, but it's very strong right now.
It's definitely been one of the better holders. What did that say about Garlinghouse?
I've got it for the Q&A.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get some Q&A going here.
All right, guys. If you have any other questions for the Q&A, drop them in the chat. We'll start with that super chat from Eric Delgado. Garlinghouse getting docs from Binance. Thoughts?
I don't know anything about that.
There you go.
Well, let's do a quick search here, see if we can find something about it.
And thanks for that super chat, Quentin Fox. He just said, Elrond.
People love Elrond. They were excited when I put them as a #1 coin for 2022.
That's a strong project.
It says Brad Garlinghouse lawyers file request for Binance documents in international challenge to SEC lawsuit. The offers and sales of the SEC challenges did not occur in this country and are not subject to the law the SEC is invoked in this case. Yeah, I have to read more. I didn't even see the story yesterday, to be honest with you. This one's new to me, so I'd have to look at this a little more to really know what's going on with it. But everything that's coming out for Ripple is quite interesting right now. So, okay, next question.
Next question. Thoughts on ADA, BTC, and ETH moving independent? Well, it's supposed to say independently of each other. ADA up, ETH, and BTC down. That's from Twitch. So basically decoupling of smart contract platforms with Bitcoin.
Look, guys. Cardano's up 1%. Let's not get too excited about that. There are plenty of other projects that are up today. But you do have Ethereum down 5% today, Bitcoin down 3%. This is certainly not signs of any type of decoupling or anything like that at this point. But this is nothing new for Cardano. We've seen Cardano have its biggest runs when Bitcoin and Ethereum were stalling out. If you go back to February and March, specifically the end of February, that's when things really started picking up for Cardano. Into March, in March they got announced they were going on Coinbase. In May, they were all kind of moving in tandem. Obviously, it was April, May as we were having the big run up before we crashed. But I think we really got to start taking a hard look at the altcoin cycle here. And I mentioned this yesterday. Dan Moorhead of Pantera Capital today comes out and says he thinks that Ethereum's a serious challenger to Bitcoin in the near term. It makes sense that Bitcoin is driven so much by supply and demand in the tokenomics of the halving that we see every 4 years this cycle for Bitcoin. Ethereum doesn't have that. There's no cycle with Ethereum. You have updates and proposals and different things that get implemented. That's when the price should be moving up. So if Ethereum can really challenge BitSquad or Bitcoin, can't challenge BitSquad. We're all on the same team. But if it can really challenge Bitcoin in this bull run, then I think there is a really good chance that we can see a decoupling and the crypto market could be free. Maybe we won't see an altcoin cycle like what we saw in 2018 in January. Maybe we won't see 97% dumps. It's all about confidence in the market for these other coins.
There you go. Perfect. Did you see, I think they're referring to last night, ADA and Solana going up earlier as everything else was falling a bit? Did you notice that?
What is Solana at right now? Solana's up 2%. These are minimal moves. Basically,
no, look, I think the point he's trying to make, it went up dramatically and then obviously it retraced, so it's only up 2% right now, where everything else was kind of going down a bit more.
Right. So this is a case where the momentum is pulled. Right. You've got momentum for these projects and for these coins as things are going up. We see these rotation of projects that, we've seen Solana have, I think, about 3 really big pumps over the last year. And each time, if all of a sudden the Bitcoin price pull back dramatically, it's going to get hurt by that. All these projects in the top 100 tend to have these cyclic moves, and they really need to be moving in tandem with Bitcoin for the most part. It's rare we have something like Cardano that's pumping while things were falling. But even if you go back to May when things crashed, when the crash happened, everything fell. Pretty much nothing did well. I think AMP did pretty well during that time. Very few projects did well. No project can sustain a Bitcoin crash right now. And that's where we got to get to. That's where we want to be.
Yeah. Somebody said TokenMetrics is very bullish on perp. We did get a lot of questions about.
I think I do remember them. Actually, I do remember them saying something about that when they were here. I think.
Yeah, I think Ian he might have mentioned it on Around the Blockchain once or twice.
Might have.
Tommy on Twitch was asking BitBoy any thoughts on Pulse Chain thread that Lark put up. I don't know if you saw it this morning.
No, did you see it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I tend to agree with Lark on a lot of those takes. I mean, more or less, if you look at the way the Pulse, more or less, there was $700 million raised for the Pulse Chain drop. And then a couple days ago, a few more billion worth of hex came in. So more, which many would assume has to be Richard Hart. So 90% of this airdrop will end up going back to Richard Hart. You know, so, and then he put that up and then obviously got personally attacked over and over and over and over, but nobody really mentioned
Can we just look at the logic of all this? Like just from a logical perspective, okay? From a logical perspective, look at the chart of Hex. Yeah, look at the history of the chart of Hex. Richard was on Around the Blockchain. He talked about, you know, if you look at Elon Musk, what would happen if Elon Musk sold all his Tesla shares?
Well,
what would happen if any major corporation CEO sold out? What if Brian Armstrong sold all his Coinbase shares? There's something to that. I'm not saying I agree with it from a philosophical level, but factually and logically, it's true.
Basically, he came on Around the Blockchain and said, like, yeah, it's a Ponzi. It's a better Ponzi than has ever existed before. It works very well.
Yeah.
Look at it go. I mean,
he's got figured out. So here's the facts. We're not promoting Pulse Chain. We're not going to do videos on Pulse Chain. We sacrificed some and got some for sure. I think we did $5,000. I want to do 50. But I think I was outvoted by someone that actually did the move, just did 5,000 instead. So, because I believe, look, if Hex has taught us anything, you can make a lot of money with it. But look, I'm also very comfortable losing that. I'm comfortable losing that $5,000 if something happens and it pops. And so all I can tell you is what I did. I can just tell you what I did. I'm not going to miss out on the train this time. Richard has shown, no matter what's going on with that stuff, I'm not getting into the minutia and the details. I don't even really understand how it all works. I have no idea how Pulse Chain works. No clue. I don't even know what we're doing sacrificing. We're getting rid of our ETH. I don't even know I had somebody else do it. But I know I'm not missing out on the train again. So that's me personally and us as a business. We just decided we're going to throw $5,000 into it and see what happens. And we're not going to sell it. We're going to ride it up. And if it's a Ponzi and it pops, then we lose the money. If not, then it is what it is. So I don't really see what the big, when you come out so adamantly against these things that are, making a lot of people a lot of money, you need to have proof on stuff. And to me, with all the Hex stuff, with all the Pulse Chain stuff, I mean, really with Hex specifically, nobody's really been able to dice out, proof, so to speak. I mean, really, if you look at what Lark says here, he says, probably Richard. So he, if it was Richard, then he's built a system where it's really hard to prove what's going on there.
Well, it's basically somebody with $3 billion worth of Hex.
Right.
So
we can all assume who it is and make assumptions. But I don't know. I'm just always torn on it because it's not something that we're gonna get behind on this channel and do videos and say, okay, guys, let's all go do this. I just told you what we did. $5,000. There's my commitment level to you. That's my commitment level to trying to get in on the train and things like that. So
Super Chat said, love from India. Short-term thoughts on XRP, which we do a lot. But
yeah, I mean, XRP, it went down to 55 cents. It's back up over 70 cents. Even after this fall, it got up to 75, I think 77 cents. It was at some point. I think that, we're going to see it kind of move. If you look at what Ripple's doing, and Ripple Labs is doing everything just like nothing is wrong. They're continuing their business. They're growing. They're adding infrastructure. They added the ODL in Japan. They did a lot of things. Basically, the long and the short of it is it's going to move just like any other project is right now. The difference is when the SEC lawsuit gets pulled from it and there's a slap on the wrist, it is going to absolutely moon. So, DJ.
Sorry, I was checking on a super chat about the Bitverse NFTs being used to farm. That is going to be possible. I just don't have the date on that.
Chain Guardians.
Yeah,
Supposed to be pretty soon, I think.
Soon, yeah. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Next question. Do you have any 2022 altcoin?
Yeah, go watch the top coins of 2022 video we did last week.
Boom. Well, that was easy.
Yep.
Could the 2024 bull run be the greatest change in the wealth gap in our lifetime? With CBDC slotted for about that same time frame, could that be the quote unquote big one?
No, I think no, I don't think so. I think that really, I think if you're really looking at raw numbers across the board, I think 2018 was the greatest opportunity you'll ever have. This next opportunity is still going to be great, but if we're looking, and here's why I say that, I don't want to get y'all down. I mean, you're still going to make a lot of money with altcoins if you buy in at the bottoms. Okay. Look, let's say Bitcoin does go to 100K, like we've said is going to happen this year. Let's say in the next cycle it goes to 250K. It's only a 2.5x, right? From 100 to 200 to 2.5, 250K. But you got to remember, there's going to be a bear market, so it's going to drop much further than that. So let's say we go up to 120K, let's say we have an 85% pullback. What is that going to put Bitcoin back at? About 25, 30K, somewhere around there. Which I think I can see that kind of happening, 25, 30K. Now you're saying 25K to 250K. Okay, that's a 10X. You're looking at really good stuff. We know altcoins will do, much higher numbers than that. Ethereum will, unless we get a decoupling and a flipping, it'll do much higher numbers than that. It always outperforms Bitcoin. But we're moving to deflation. We're switching to deflation over this next season. Okay, and in the late fall, early winter, we're switching to deflation. It's going to be a several year move. And because of that, that's why I think Bitcoin's not going to go as high and things aren't going to go as high in the next cycle, is because the dollar is going to be worth more. So it's really all relative how you look at it. But the change in the wealth gap is happening now. Like, you're part of it if you're in crypto right now, for sure.
And then also to answer that super chat's question, that will be, you can mine in Chain Guardians with the Bitverse NFT starting next week. Yeah, there you go. What
is Meta Hero?
I think it's a different game.
Is it a game? I've seen a lot of people showing this. Meta Hero, next gen, DeFi, real utility. I don't know anything about this, but I've seen it on several different platforms, and maybe not just showing. So it's a game. I don't know. Doesn't look that interesting. Maybe it is. I don't know. But you guys know I'm not a big gamer. So, all right, let's move on here. Was that it?
Yep. Let's see the charts.
All right. So Bitcoin coming in 38,172. We've had a pretty good pullback. I mean, if you look at the EMA ribbon here, you can see that we touched off this middle band here of that. We got a little bounce back up, trying to fight to get back above it again. After being below it for so long, I mean, it's certainly good to get up. Usually when you see this area start to turn white instead of gray, that's a sign that we are heading towards bullish momentum. And I mean, you can just look at the chart and see that very easily. It's still pretty thin right now. The wider it gets, the more bullish it gets. So I can't tell you what I think is going to happen right now for the price of Bitcoin this week. All I know is we reported yesterday about a bunch of whale moves, and it's still not been reported. Wait until this gets reported. Finally, yesterday, they announced, which I'm so irritated. None of the stories that I sent are in here at all today. No, here it is. There is one. Here it is. Tether Whale moves $374 million in crypto. If you remember yesterday, I talked about how there were several transactions in the $320 to $350 million range when they were sent. Here's one, $374 million in crypto. Wait until they find out about the other. I think there's 18 more of this size. There were 19 total. It's either 12 or 19 total moves this big. Just wait until people start figuring out what happened over the last few days. Now, what is this money being set aside? What is it being moved for? It's a great question. The point is, we'll look more at that story here in a little bit, but the whole thing is there's something big coming. There is a big move coming. Is it going to happen tomorrow? Is it going to happen in 2 days? I don't know. I tend to think tomorrow is very potentially going to be a good day. We're not looking at, by the way, all I can give you is the information I'm given. In the last day, we saw this drop to 38,000. This has not been whale manipulation to the downside. These are regular retail markets. These are sentiments. We're seeing a lot of regulation stuff, again, kind of making its way around. The euphoria and the excitement from the Bitcoin pump, where, now people have forgotten what it felt like to be at $29,000. So that's kind of going away. The bullish sentiment, not as high as it was, say, over the weekend or last week. But that's okay. That's what these pullbacks are about. These pullbacks are not necessarily about just dropping the price. It's a consolidation of sentiment in a lot of ways, is what we're looking at here. Ethereum, it's right now on the verge of having its first red day. And I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised by this. I'm surprised we're getting a pullback for Ethereum today. I didn't say this on Around the Blockchain yesterday when Wendy was talking because, I usually disagree with everything Wendy says, so I was going to let that one go. I'm just kidding. I don't disagree with Wendy. She's a great friend. But when she was saying we were going to get a pullback to $2,300, I almost was like, I don't see that happening. How is this happening as we lead up to the London hard fork, which I think is around midnight tomorrow night. So it's not going to be in the actual daytime. But as we're getting this run up to that, wouldn't you think we would see Ethereum kind of pump, continue to move high and do well? Buy the rumor, sell the news? Or was a lot of that already baked into this pump over the weekend? I think we are going to see a settling here at some point of sentiment across Bitcoin and Ethereum as we get ready for this next leg up. You guys have to remember, look at that run up. This is the daily chart. You don't see stuff like this on the daily chart very often. In fact, you would be really hard pressed to find anything like this of that many green in a row. You actually won't. I don't know when the last time, but I think it's been years since we had this many consecutive green days.
I think
for Ethereum,
it might have been at the last top in 2018.
Possibly, yeah. Very, very possibly. No pullback at all. You got to have a pullback. You got to have a breather. This is what allows people to get, because if you think of it like this, like if Ethereum's at $2,000 and it goes up to $2,700 like it just did, people are sitting there thinking like, man, I wanted to get in. I was wrong. It's bullish still, but I don't want to get in at $2,700. You need that pullback a few $100s so people feel like they're getting their money's worth, and that's what gets people back in to send the money back up again. So then we got this the Nupal here. Nupal, we are back in the green again. Let's see here. Let's go to the 3 month. No, let's go to the 1 month. So we just dipped back down. Look at that. We just dipped back down into the brown. We dipped down into the brown again. So we definitely need to have another run up here if we're going to get this Nupal heading back in the right direction. So just a summary of the Nupal. Anytime it's in blue, that means top of the market. Anytime it's in green, things are very healthy. Whenever it's in brown, things are consolidating. And so we had seen it go through this consolidation period over here. We went back up into the green. This was good. This was looking something like, we saw in 2013, 2014. But now we've dipped back down into the brown again. But I do not expect this to be prolonged by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen a pullback on the stock to flow deflection. We were heading up. Now we're back down just a little bit. Nothing really troubling on any of these charts to look at today. I don't see anything troubling. Today's just kind of one of those blah days. Is that how you feel, TJ?
Yeah. Just like it's just a day.
It's just a day.
It's just
there's not gigantic earth-shaking news. We do have some stuff about Russian regulation, which we are going to have a video on the crypto regulations. What was that bill called? You know the name of the bill?
I don't know the name of the bill,
but a lot of stuff got rushed into it.
Yeah,
we're going to look at that this weekend, I think.
A lot of crypto, or what they're calling digital assets, talk in there, but they very loosely define digital assets. So that way, basically, you can apply to anybody who does any type of transaction on the internet will be stuck following these rules. So it's looking a little dicey.
Smash the like for a bomb pop shirt. Somebody said cooling off day. Chad Wells. I think that's a good way to look at it. Today is a cooling off day.
Everybody's waiting for that hard fork, and it's just kind of like, let's just wait, see it happen.
Current proposed language in the infrastructure bill, working its way through Congress, will lead to unforeseen circumstances or consequences that will damage the crypto space at a fundamental level. That said, the fact the legislation is being discussed at these levels is a small step in the right direction. Seemingly a contradictory statement and idea, the codification and inclusion of this section of the infrastructure bill actually addresses one of the fundamental fears that some market participants have had: that the government would eventually regulate crypto out of existence. Crypto bans, or the equivalent of a ban of crypto transactions, are discussed often, but that misses the broader point. No matter what sector is being analyzed, an underlying truth of business is that business dreads uncertainty. That's exactly what the blockchain and crypto sectors have been operating under since inception. Some of the conversation around this proposed clause has to do with the reporting obligations for taxpayers and exchanges as they are connected to crypto transactions. Conversation around this allegedly increased reporting requirements misses the fact that crypto transactions are already robustly reported. IRS has been actively pursuing and collecting tax revenues linked to crypto transactions, and has also increased the personnel and technology assets allocated towards cracking down on crypto tax evasion. This is a point that cannot be overemphasized. By codifying and integrating crypto transactions and taxes as paid for in a major piece of legislation, that means in essence, crypto cannot be outlawed or banned. And this is something that a lot of people just really, if they're newer to crypto, they just don't understand. Like, you can't ban open source computer code. You can't ban that. There's no way to legislate that. There's no way to do that. When you add in decentralization of Bitcoin and you've got people all across the world running these nodes, as long as one person is willing to run a Bitcoin node across the world, which do you have any idea what the number of nodes is?
No, not off the top of my head.
It's gotta be millions, right? Maybe not.
Let me check.
Yeah, check. See. That was just a guess. I may be way off. It might be 2. It's not 2. As long as one person is willing to run a node, the Bitcoin network will carry on. It's decentralized. It's not. There's no single point of failure. You can't ban something that has no single point of failure.
10,000.
10,000. Okay.
10,101.
Wow, that's not nearly as many as I thought.
Yeah.
You can they sell those. You can buy one really easy. What is it, like My Open Node or something?
There's a few. That's one. Hodalit is one I talked to, or Nodalit is one I talked to. Yeah, it was a pretty funny name. Guy was really nice. I talked to him at the Bitcoin conference. I think they're partnered with Wasabi Wallet. And so there's some good kind of integration stuff built into it. So I think that's what we're going to do at the new building.
Didn't Wasabi Wallet have a mixer built in?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that ain't going to work. Now that stuff, like look, here's the thing. You can run something like a wallet that has a mixer built in, but they have said that those are illegal. So if you get caught with one, there are going to be consequences. It's much easier to legislate those types of things because these are businesses. Unless they're able to do everything anonymously and decentralized like Bitcoin, then they're going to come under fire. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of this regulatory law, is that they're coming after exchanges, they're coming after wallets. They want to know that you're doing your due diligence on who is using your server.
Well, speaking of regulation, we've got SEC girl in the chat on Twitch, so they heard we were talking about them.
She's a Dogs fan.
Oh,
she likes the Dogs.
Gotcha.
That's not Hester Pierce. That's my girl, SEC girl. Go Dogs, sick 'em. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay.
What if she's?
I saw a beautiful bulldog.
What if she's an Alabama fan?
No, I know she's a Dogs fan.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, she said go Dogs in here before.
Okay.
So she's friends.
There it is.
She's
right
family.
There. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
All right.
U.S. lawmakers oppose Rush bill provision, crypto provision infrastructure bill, planning amendment to text. You guys can go to bitboycrypto.com and read about this story. Basically, there are some people that are saying it's got very sloppy language and that this needs to be fixed. So we'll see what happens here. Somebody said roll tide. We don't say that here.
You just said it.
Well, somebody said, I just want you to know, like, we don't say that here. We don't do that. Hey, but our trainer got inducted into the Alabama Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Good job, Shelby.
Shelby. I have no idea what his last name is, but Shelby.
He probably doesn't want us to say
He
it.
probably doesn't. Well, if he's going in the Hall of Fame, I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
He's the only Alabama person I like. So.
Yeah. He's pretty okay.
Yeah. We did bench 280 yesterday, so we're getting real close. I could have probably done 290, but we'll see. All right. American Bankers Association encourages partnerships with crypto firms in new report. The American Bankers Association has issued a new report that suggests banks consider partnerships with crypto firms based on the increased profitability of the sector and client interest. The ABA further suggests crypto use cases for banks with revenue models and regulatory issues for each use case. Here are the use cases for banks: store of value, custody wallet provider, interest-bearing accounts, payments, lending, exchange trading, broker-dealer, insurance, network utility, and asset management.
Yeah. Basically everything that this stuff does better.
Yeah. Well, just think about this. Like, are you seeing a connection between the last story and the story?
Yeah.
What? I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the connection, TJ? There's only one right answer.
Between the last story, which is where you were talking about the regulation stuff, the infrastructure bill, and then this, yeah, I think they're going to try to mandate that banks manage all this stuff, and you can't do it without having banks involved. They're going to keep them relevant. Like, yeah, you can do this crypto stuff, but you need all these licenses and legal and insurance and all this stuff to manage it. So we might as well just run it through the banks.
Yeah, they are basically forcing the hands of exchanges and wallet providers to be able to shut down the competition for the banks to come in.
Yep.
Because I got to be honest with you. Old Damon, he's an SEC guy too. He might be from Mississippi. The thing is, easiest way to become tallest building in town, tear down all the other buildings. And that's what they're doing. They're paving the way for the banking infrastructure. And I can tell you this. I've talked to a lot of people. Over the last few years. Believe it or not, I talk a lot. And I have been shocked at how much the average new person in crypto, or a person who's not in crypto at all, how open, accepting, and willing they are to be like, oh yeah, I'd let the banks handle my crypto. Sure, why not? Be easy. Have a mortgage broker. It's so amazing to me how, as humans, we just invite someone to get in the middle to take the money. What were we talking about this morning? We were talking about a whole the passport thing.
Oh my gosh.
The passport business is a giant scam.
Yeah, it is.
You want to talk about what happened? This is crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to get a passport. Mine expired in June, so I needed to get an updated one for a variety of different reasons. We paid for the expedited stuff. It was supposed to be 4 weeks, which didn't seem that fast to me. Now they're coming back. It's already been 8 weeks, and they're telling me 12 more weeks. So at this point, the only way to do what we need to get done is go to an actual agency where I can prove out of country travel within 72 hours. So I'm going to end up just buying a ticket to like Mexico or something and then going in and getting a passport, because it's insane. So basically it's hundreds of dollars down the drain for more hundreds of dollars to go down the drain just to get the right to leave the country.
It's a gigantic scam. Anything that's let me let y'all in on something. Anything that's a broker or an intermediary or an agency, they're all scams.
Careful. That's a lot of major industries.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm sorry. They're all scams. Here's the thing. They create the need for themselves. They work with lobbyists to make things harder for people to do by themselves. So then they create an entire industry, and they're able to come in here and just look at the passport industry, what they're able to do.
Well, that's like the definition of government. Create a need for yourself. I mean, that was one of the best quotes I ever heard from Antonopoulos. He said, what's the purpose of a government? Like, what is their primary mission? It's to survive. It's to stay in place, stay in control, stay in power. So everything they do is just to stay viable.
Yeah. Well, I saw this quote over the weekend. I can't remember where it was, or I don't know if I saw it or if I read it. I don't know. But it just basically said, no government in the history of the world has ever given their people more rights over time.
Exactly.
Only less rights. Only less rights. And so if you understand the banking cartel that runs the governments are not acting alone.
Nope.
The financial cartel, the banking cartel, I know who they are. I won't tell you, but I know who these people are. They're running this, and they are making life very difficult for us. That's what they want, because it's all about money to them. It's not about necessarily power or influence or control. All those are means to get more money. I know it sounds like it's all about power. It's just getting the most money possible in the world. There are people out there with trillions of dollars. Don't buy into this. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are the richest men in the world. Don't buy into that. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's what they want you to think. They want you to think the cap of the most money somebody owns is $140 billion. It's much higher than that.
Yeah.
And we're going to just hand over all of our crypto to the banks. The very people we're fighting. I started watching, I didn't finish it yet, but I started watching Snowden last night. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think so.
I've never seen it.
I think I started it on an airplane one time and didn't finish it.
Yeah. So I'm about halfway done with it. And it's not, the sad thing is it's not even eye-opening. It's like we expect our government to do the types of things. Basically, they were showing that through like 3 contacts on every phone, you can get to almost everybody in the world or everybody in the United States. Like there's that little separation between all of us.
Wow.
And how they could just they just come up with a reason to investigate one person, and now they can look at every single person's cameras on their phone, on their computers, look at their Facebook accounts, their private messages. There's nothing private on the internet, if you didn't know that. So it reminded me again, like, why we do all this. I'm going to try to finish it up tonight. Well, I don't know. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. Maybe I'll have to pack tonight, but I'm going to try to finish it up tonight. And, sometimes you see something and you're just reminded of why we do what we do. The government is taking in all of our information. They're feeding it to these banking cartels, and they're trying to squeeze us. And Bitcoin and free enterprise is the only way we have out of this. Crypto is the only chance we have. But still, I think sometimes it's a pipe dream too. When you have the standard traditional legacy people taking over in crypto, it's not a good thing. And we already know how much power they have on the market. And that's why that's one of the reasons why we have this channel, to help you find financial freedom for your own personal life, for your own family, but also in a larger sense for decentralization and fighting against some of the stuff. Because you see all the people in here. You guys see the comments. I'm not always on vacation. Don't say that. I see that comment. I do go on some vacations, okay? But you guys know I don't go for a whole week. I just go for 3 or 4 days because I can't take a whole week off. That's not a thing here.
And we work extra hard to make sure you guys have plenty of content no matter what. So
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody can come up here and say they work more than we do.
No.
So,
but I see the comments in the chat. You guys got to remember, like, we're all in this together, and it's not who's got the best coin. It's how can we use all this stuff together to fight against this traditional system, because it is as evil as it sounds.
Yep,
for sure. Green Bitcoin mining the big profits in clean crypto. Look at this photo.
That's intense.
These guys look sharp. Who's this photographer?
I don't know. They look like they're ready to do some digging, though.
They're ready to tell someone to do some digging.
Yeah.
They don't look like they can
work.
Which one of these two guys you think could actually get behind the wheel and
the
do
left
some digging?
100%.
100%. He's done some digging in his life.
Yep. The guy on the right, he's the money guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He probably played polo.
Yeah, he grew up in a yacht club for sure.
Bitcoin is infamous for wasting enough electricity to add 40 million tons of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere a year. But now a growing cadre of U.S. miners are developing green and lucrative new strategies worth a fortune all their own. What did I tell you guys about? How did we not put the Fluffy Pony story on here today? How do we not put that on here?
I saw the tweet.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. So somebody said the guy on the right was on his high school curling team. I don't know if he's Canadian.
Yeah, he's definitely doesn't wear socks either.
But
just dress shoes, no socks. That's a thing for sure. Look at you go.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. No socks today. It's my PFG performance fishing gear. I'm a poser. I don't actually fish.
That's better though than the leather shoe. You know, like the nice leather shoes with no socks.
Feels so clammy just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I told you when Elon Musk put all these tweets out, the muskrat, when he put all these tweets about mining, there was something more to it than just, I just don't think Bitcoin's good for the environment. Now we're seeing an opening up, and I'm sure he will play a big role in a lot of this, of these new green mining initiatives. Spence is one of the emerging cohort of American Bitcoin miners who are turning one of the crypto's biggest liabilities, its insatiable thirst for energy, into an asset. Whether they're getting rid of waste fuels like gob, helping balance the electric grid in Texas, tapping into the flares at oil and gas fields, that's something Gary Leland was telling me about. He lives out there. These crypto power entrepreneurs are profiting by turning digital lemons into green lemonade. I think they'll call that lime juice. And with countries such as China, Indonesia, and Iran moving either to severely restrict Bitcoin mining or ban it altogether, the opportunity for domestic producers has never been greater. From just a 4% share 2 years ago, U.S. has grown into the world's second largest miner, now accounting for 17% of all new Bitcoins, according to the University of Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance. Look at that. Looks pretty cool. Bitcoin mining facility here. Depending on Bitcoin's cost, its global network sucks up blah, 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 blah. I don't want to talk about that. How much carbon's released in the atmosphere depends entirely on what energy sources used. We know there's a lot more renewable ones, yada, yada, yada. Here's the point of this story. The point here is that we're going to see more mining initiatives coming in the United States, and this is a good thing. I think somebody said 15% of the hash rate is here now. Thought that was the number I saw. It was 5% last year. So something's going on. Something's going on somewhere. It may not be as high as 15%, but there was a large increase in the last year, and I think we're going to see another large increase. Now, here's the thing. We don't want half the hash rate. We don't want to be like China and have 70%. We just need 20%, 15%. That's good. And then let's disperse the rest of that hash rate across the world so you don't have one country control with the potential to control Bitcoin. And that's really what China has at this point. So BitBoy versus socks with sandals. I would crush socks with sandals all day. I would never wear socks with sandals. 5th grade, it was popular. Slides and sandals.
16.85% is what the United States.
Sheesh.
China down to 46. Next highest, Kazakhstan, and then Russia at 8 and 6. So
we're number 2?
And we're doubling number 3. So
wow. That is pretty interesting.
So Eddie Parrott's looking for.
Where did Stonks guy go?
I think maybe Justin O.
Justin O.
He's still out there.
Yeah, he's still out there. Yeah, if we could contact him, come back on the show.
He should come on ATB.
Yeah. He was one of our first guests. He was on our first show.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
We like him.
Yeah, we like him. We just found our audience doesn't care about stocks as much as we thought they might. In the middle of a bull run, maybe in a bear market, you would care more. But we went past that chapter. We'll certainly have some stocks guys.
And I think we found we didn't like stocks as much as we thought we might like.
So boring. Yeah. No offense, Justin. No, he's very interesting, but
it's great for some people. But
it's almost like the people that the stocks that people get excited about, like AMC and GameStop and all that. Like, hey, that the real revolution's going on over here.
Right.
Like, how are you missing this?
Right.
We're not trying to revolutionize the stock market. All those kinds of gains you get over there with those things, they're all over here in crypto.
Yeah.
I would say probably the top 100 has outperformed those stocks, I would think.
Probably.
Over the last year. I mean, they performed pretty well.
Yeah.
But Cardano and Ethereum crushed it. I know that.
Right.
So, there's certainly more. Who's taller, TJ or Ben? I am actually taller than TJ, for sure.
He is.
So I'm 5'10". TJ's
5'9"-ish.
5'9"-ish. All right. I'm just really itching to talk about this fluffy pony story now. Cardano is finally getting listed in Japan. Looks like in the Basho region.
That was good.
Thanks. It's not easy for crypto assets to gain regulatory approval. Have you noticed, by the way, TJ, have you noticed that ever since we took this stand and we stopped saying cryptocurrency on this channel, that you've seen some other people start doing that?
Crypto assets.
I've started seeing crypto assets used a lot more than it used to.
I still say cryptocurrency a lot. It's a hard habit to break.
I've broken it. I cringe when I hear, and I think the reason is I can do it much easier than you is because I've trained myself to like outlaw words that I can't say very quickly on the show when we found that they're negative for, censorship and stuff like that. So I just looked at it like that. After it took about 2 weeks, I said, okay, I'm just not going to say anymore. And unless it's a quote, sometimes it's a quote, I'll say it. But anyways, it's not easy for crypto assets to gain regulatory approval for the purpose of getting listed on crypto exchanges. And that is why only a relatively tiny number of crypto assets have been approved so far. He went on to say this news is pretty significant for the Japanese market, and its importance is roughly equivalent to ADA finally getting listed on Coinbase in March. Now, this could actually be why you saw ADA pumping a little bit today while everything else, was down. Cardano finally listed in Japan. It's got really strict rules for crypto exchanges. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, Basic Attention Token, Stellar, NIM, Tezos, and Polkadot are only ones listed there. So, BitBoy Crypto, the biggest and shortest crypto channel in all the interwebs. Thank you for that, Slevin17 on Twitch.
I think Omar's got us beat there.
Guys, I am much taller than many people that make YouTube videos about crypto and real estate and stocks. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Massively larger. I'll leave it there.
I wonder who the shortest crypto YouTuber is.
Well,
I know Omar. I'm not saying he's not that tall, and I think Carl's not.
Omar's he's got to be there, but I know that
he's got to be top 3.
It's how tall is Carl? I wonder. Carl.
Those are the two that are on my mind too. Like, who's taller, Omar or Carl?
Carl's got Graham Stephan by ways, I think. Though.
Oh, does he?
I think. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Carl from the moon or Graham Stephan is taller? I want to know. So
Carl is sneaky tall, somebody said.
He might be. I could see that. He doesn't look tall in the videos, but he might be tall.
Jeb 5'7".
But if you watch my show, when Justin or DZ come on, you would think I'm short.
Right.
And many of you do.
Because Justin's how tall? 6'4"? 6'5"?
6'3".
Oh.
DZ and Justin are both 6'3", I believe it. Is that correct, DZ? Yeah. Somebody said, who cares? Well, listen here, Zane Dixon. You got an appropriate last name, bud. No offense to the rest of our Dixons. We love our Dixons here. We love Dixons. We don't like Zane. He seems like a douche. Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people saying Graham Stephan, if you consider him a crypto YouTuber. He's more general finance, in my opinion. Ian's pretty short.
Yeah, but he's not overwhelmingly small or anything like that. No. I mean, he's not. I don't see him and think, oh, he's short.
No, I think Omar's probably like 5'5", 5'6", maybe 5'5".
Yeah.
So that's my money's on Omar.
You know what's so weird? Like, you just don't think about how tall these people are sometimes when you watch them in TV on the show and then you see them in real life and you're like,
yeah,
oh, wow.
You only see him from the chest up. So
people tell me, I'll tell you this. People tell me I'm much thinner in person than I think.
You know what it is? People, it's your brain. People assume that you're the same height that they are. So if they're 6 foot and they're watching you, in their mind, you're 6 foot.
Yeah.
So when you're 5'10" or 6'2" or whatever, it surprises them.
Well, speaking of tall feats, Cardano is now listed in Japan. So let's see if there's any more to this story. There's not. Look, can I move to this? I'm going to die if I don't talk about this story.
Yeah,
I'm going to die if I don't talk about it.
Go
I can't believe we didn't have this on the rundown today. Which, by the way, Elrond did have the stories I sent him. They were just at the end. I couldn't see the last story over there. It says ETH versus Bitcoin. That's where it is. I couldn't see it because it was covered up. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Elrond. You did a great job today. Former Monero maintainer. What do they call him maintainer? What is that?
Because he developed on it.
Fluffy Pony arrested and to be extradited for non-crypto crimes.
Poor guy.
I've never met this guy in real life. He's a kind of larger than life character. A lot of people like him. He's, been with Monero, privacy coin developer for them. And this is just such a strange story. And you know what? I sat here, I read all the comments about, people saying you couldn't make it up. It's a cookie company. and just not like, I hope I didn't do anything wrong at a cookie company or a cake shop one day, because I can just imagine all the memes.
That's
If I
why
got extradited for cake fraud.
Well, we'll have to call you Cake Boy for the rest of
You
your life.
would have to. It's kind of stuck already.
Yeah.
Ricardo Spagni, who was arrested in Tennessee, will be extradited to South Africa to face fraud charges. Okay, so this is from something. This is just so crazy. This is from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. This is nothing recently, but it was a significant amount of money that he supposedly stole. Now, I don't know. Are people trying to sell him down the river? Because,
That's
what
what I was going to say. I wonder if this is something old that they want to go after him now for something he's been doing recently, but this is the only thing they can pin on him.
Could be. Could be. Oh, my gosh. He was arrested in Nashville on July 20th. When are we going to plan that meetup, by the way? I think we're going to do it on a Friday night. Weren't we going to ask the Bit Squad for recommendations for a place to do it?
We were.
If you're in Tennessee or you're in the Nashville area, if you could, drop us some suggestions on where you think we should do our Nashville meetup, probably in September.
Somewhere that's not super loud, preferably.
Yeah, I don't want to be, I lose my voice every time I go because I'm yelling over a bar. So we're thinking, like, I don't know where it would be. If you got an idea, maybe suggest that. And then if you can watch that, TJ, and see if anything.
No, they should email it to office@bitboycrypto.com if you have a good venue.
People insecure about their height claim people who are insecure about their height are insecure.
Sounds about right.
I don't even know what that means. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about this. Go ahead and just keep the runner going. I touched on the massive outflow story at the beginning, so just move on. We'll talk about this. Spagni, he was arrested in Nashville on July 20th, extradited to South Africa to face fraud charges for crimes unrelated to crypto. Spagni, known online as Fluffy Pony, is accused of stealing approximately $100,000 from his former employer, Cape Cookies, by generating false invoices from fictional entities and routing payment to his personal bank accounts between 2009 to 2011. Opryland Hotel. That might be a good one.
Wow.
We
It's
could go
probably
to
right around the
Opryland.
same time he was he found Bitcoin and realized he didn't need to launder a cookie.
Well,
money
I want to be careful because there's a guy in crypto, and obviously people make up all kinds of false accusations about me all the time. Like, they just make stuff up. They're not, pumping up. We don't do that. We've never done that in the history of this channel. But people just like to spit air and accuse people. They're toxic, and they want to pollute good people doing good things because they're bad people themselves. They're just bad people out there. So I want to be careful in the story. Like, I don't want to say for sure that he did this because I don't know. I haven't seen the evidence, and I'll never see the evidence. We'll let, the court, figure out what it is. But I'm just saying, like, if you're a person who, is really big on privacy coins, and you come from a background of frauding people and creating fictional entities so you can make fake invoices to funnel money through, I can see some, it kind of makes sense a little bit, Not that every person that uses privacy coins would do something like that, but, being so big in developing a privacy coin, if this was true, like, he's got a history for a reason to hide money, which would kind of make sense. So, I mean, if you're holding, a water device that squirts water to my head and saying, do I think he did this or not? I mean, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that he did, I believe, but we don't know for sure. He's certainly not guilty. He gets due process. Spagni was previously charged with fraud and related charges in a regional court of Cape Town, pleaded not guilty, and failed to appear in court. I mean, he fled. He fled to the United States. South African authorities could not find Spagni at his home address in South Africa. After speaking with Spagni's friends and family, they learned he had fled South Africa. Police issued a warrant for his arrest in April. And I wonder what's going on with his Twitter account. Has he just not been active for a couple weeks now?
Let's look.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it up real quick. Twitter, Fluffy Pony.
Hey, why don't you retweet? Oh, never mind.
Retweet it?
Never mind.
4 hours ago, this is his legal statement. They requested to advise the status of the hearing, wish to advise the follows. Basically, since July 20th, he's not been active. So this was his last tweet. And of course, someone else has taken over his account at this point. I guess that's his brother, I would assume, Saskia Spagni. So we'll see where this story develops and where it goes. But it doesn't look great for him at this point. It says he was adding to resolve the issue soon. I mean, look, if all this is true, then all this is true. But at the same time, if he's really actually guilty of this, these are all the talking points that you would give in a situation like this, proper PR and things like that. So step down from day-to-day leadership role after 5 years with Monero. He was arrested in Nashville when a private charter jet he was using for a trip from New York to Los Cabos, Mexico, stopped for fuel. So he stopped in Nashville to get fuel, and they arrested him. He was trying to get out of this country. He must have known they were coming after him. Marshals were after him. He believed to have significant crypto assets that would enable him to flee, as well as a watch value to $800K, according to the warrant. Come to Dallas, Texas, y'all. That's from Kyla Stewart Hernandez. Well, Kyla, I would have you know that we are going to do another meetup in Atlanta after a national meetup. Then we're going to do one in Texas.
Yeah, we're talking about fall for Texas when it's not quite so hot.
Yeah. Well, it might be closer to winter, actually.
Okay.
If we're doing one every 2 months. We're doing in Nashville next month. Atlanta 2 months later, that would be November. And then we would do, maybe January or something like that. So
ultimately, we'd like to do one a month, though.
We would.
Yeah.
We would. But, I mean, we've been talking about the national one for a month now. We haven't actually done anything. So,
yeah.
Let's get that moving. Tether Whales moved 374. We talked about this story a little bit earlier. There is a lot of money moving. $50 million, $41 million, $50 million, $80 million. Wait until this story comes out about the I think it was 19. It's either 12 or 19. I'm losing my brain here on this. Maybe it was 12. 12 Bitcoin transfers of over $320 million. They were all done within about 48 hours from each other. So come to the West Coast. Well, I'm going to LA tomorrow. So how about that? But it's a family trip tomorrow, so we're not going to be. I'm not going to be doing meetups or anything while I'm out there. But if you're at Disneyland, we will be at what do they call? You move it to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? Disneyland? Like, is that the actual park?
Yeah,
like Disneyland and Island of Adventures, I think. Does that sound right?
It's not Island of Adventures. That's in Orlando. It's Disneyland and
California Adventures.
California Adventures. Yeah.
So it's not Magic Kingdom it's Disneyland and
California Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to Disneyland. We'll be at Disneyland on Thursday. And then we'll be at California Adventures Friday and Saturday. So
and then
if you're there,
we probably will do a SoCal meetup February-ish with Wendy O and all that.
Oh, okay.
Ish. Depending on, who knows what's going to be going on in California by then, but.
Somebody said, how about Jacksonville, Florida? Well, that's where my Lambo is.
Oh, that's what we're supposed to do one there too with Jeb. That was the other one we said we were going to do, Central Florida.
Ooh, maybe we can do that soon. I can go down and see the Lambo.
Yeah, that'd be good.
About 2 months and 3 weeks till I get that thing.
Perfect.
Bitcoin outflows from centralized exchanges surged to 100K Bitcoin monthly. We talked about that for a while here. This is something that a lot of people are showing on Twitter, looking at the significant outflow volume. You can see, back in these times where you had these really large spikes down, or valleys, you could call them, past the $8,000 level here, but beneath this, or I'm sorry, it's when they're losing 100K Bitcoin per month or more. It's happened twice in the last year and a half. And you can see, look where the price was when that happened. It was at about 6K. And then look at the last time that it happened. That would have been around 18K. And at both of those price points, what's really interesting was, Damon said he can drive it up to us. What was really interesting is that was a time of compression where the price was about to go up significantly. It was kind of like a consolidation before a big move. And you can look right now, we're getting the same exact thing. So that's really what I see here. Consolidation of a much bigger move coming. All right. Here's a realistic price for Bitcoin. What is $120 million miners? Oh, this is the other story I want to talk about. Here's a realistic price path for Bitcoin this cycle, according to Willy Woo. Closely followed on-chain analyst Willy Woo is laying out a price for Bitcoin this cycle. In a new episode of What Bitcoin did with Peter McCormack. Wu names a few key levels that can trigger a continuation of the Bitcoin bull market. He says we deserve to be in the $50,000 to $60,000 range once we break 42K. That's the long-term sort of line in the sand of the channel we've been playing at. And that's just a really big gap from there to 50K. 42K to 50K is just a gap. So we break 42K, there's not going to be much time to get to $50,000. He doesn't see Bitcoin shooting through all-time highs very quickly if and once 42K is breached. According to Wu, the flagship crypto is more likely to bounce around for a while in the $50,000 to $60,000 range before it's able to make new highs. I think we'll take a little bit more time to slice through. I wouldn't expect us to slash right through, but anything can happen. I kind of expect that we just retest of that zone because we spent so long playing there, discovering 50,000, 60,000. Then wow, we break the all-time high. If we break that, then we'll be off to the races again. So, that's definitely something that I see playing out. I definitely see, I think it will happen very quickly. I think if anything, the last 2 weeks have shown how dramatically things can change back to the upside, the same way they crashed to the downside. Giving away a Lambo in 2025 bull market.
I was going to say maybe.
We'll see. We might end up with 2.
Yeah. So we'll see.
TJ suckered me into letting him drive this thing too. So
I suckered you into it?
Yeah, you made me feel bad about wanting my own Lambo. You say, you want me to make it a company Lambo? Company Lambo. Can y'all see TJ driving a Lambo?
No.
Does he seem like the kind of guy that would drive a Lambo? You got to be like, seriously, to drive a Lambo, you got to be a douche. So I guess TJ fits. I guess it qualifies. Pretty good. Someone said deflation happening with 30 trillion debt. How can I have some? That just got worse and worse and worse. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the deflation's gonna happen. No, on the milk.
If you supple his supply, it will deflate.
It doesn't come that easy.
Sometimes I just want to walk off the show. That's one of those moments right
Pauly D, you're gonna have to work a little harder than just a $10 super chat.
Marathon Digital buys another 30,000 Bitcoin miners worth $120 million. Marathon Digital has bought 30,000 units of Bitmain's flagship Bitcoin mining hardware, yada, yada, yada. They're buying some Bitcoin miners. Yippee for them. Here's a geography of Bitcoin mining. Marathon, you see a big player here, Blockchain Solutions. I don't know any of these other companies. You guys can see I'm not in that world. Canada, Argo, Bitfarms, Galaxy Digital. Oh, no, Galaxy Digital, of course. Very interesting. This kind of lays out some of the big miners across the world. I mean, that's pretty interesting. All right, let's see. ETH2 will help Ether outpace Bitcoin. Pantera Capital CEO predicts. We have 2 stories here. Nope, just one. Ether has more potential than Bitcoin as a newer crypto, and the latest EIP 1559 will help the token trade more like a fixed asset. As a newer crypto, Ether has more potential than Bitcoin, Moorhead said. And by the way, Moorhead predicted $120,000, actually $119,000 Bitcoin. He said in August. So don't think we're going to get there in August. I think my timeline's probably a little more accurate into September. He said at the Reuters Global Markets Forum on Monday, noting the latest Ethereum improvement proposal, EIP 1559, will help the digital token to trade more like a fixed asset. One of 5 EIPs in the London hard fork grade. We've talked that to death. Y'all know what's in that. If you don't know by now what's in EIP 1559, you're never going to know. We do have a video coming out on it tomorrow. We will tell you a little bit about how those mechanics work, but I don't want to bore you all with the details right now. You'll see a transition of people who want to store wealth, doing it in Ether rather than just Bitcoin. The Ethereum 2.0 will significantly reduce Ether's mining energy consumption levels compared with the one of Bitcoin. Despite predicting a brighter future for Ether, Moorhead is still optimistic about Bitcoin's growth in the future. He reportedly predicted that Bitcoin would trade between $80,000 to $90,000 by the end of 2021, rising above $120K within a year. Surging mainstream adoption could further drive Bitcoin's price to as high as $700K in the next decade. This is a very specific number. Scheduled to take place on Wednesday, the hard fork is one of Ethereum's biggest upgrades. Yada, yada, yada. So here's what's important. I think he's wrong on a lot of stuff there. I'm not going to get into all the reasons why he's wrong on his timeline. But what I will say is what he's saying is correct here, is that Ethereum has more potential than Bitcoin. It's not even close. If you got the entire gold market, that's $11 trillion. 11 trillion. That would put Bitcoin, somewhere, $300,000, $400,000, maybe more than that, maybe like 500,000. It went to 20 trillion. That's nice. The derivatives market alone is worth $2 quadrillion. $2 quadrillion. 2/3 of all the money in the world's in the derivatives market. Ethereum can bridge that gap and bring the derivatives market, that trading of synthetic assets, to everybody. So not only the hedge funds can play the big IOU derivatives game, we're not going to destroy the derivatives market. And I think that's been something that when you look at the short squeezes on the stock market and all that thing, all the things like that, I think what you'll see is that they got the wrong approach. All these people, they want to destroy the hedge funds. They want to destroy the derivatives market and stuff like that. That's never going to happen. There's too much money in that. But if we as regular individuals get access to that, because I know the crypto gains are massive and they're really great and we made so much money with them, but the people at the top, they've been making money like this hand over fist forever. So it's about giving the common person the ability to get into that market. And that's, why we believe Ethereum will be over $100,000 at some point in the next 10 years. I would say, definitely potential in the next cycle, 4 years, but 8 years, I think is very realistic, unless we see the decoupling, unless we see the flipping, and then Ethereum is able to run out front. It might get there much faster than we thought before. Guys, before we get off air today, I do want to mention we do have Hit Network and New Money Gang. You're going to show that? Yep. We did hit 111K on Hit Network, by the way. This is our behind-the-scenes vlog of what we do here, building our new studio, the whole 9 yards. And you guys can see also New Money Gang, 42.1 thousand. This is Justin and Justin and Brian, where they show you guys how to make money online. And then you can turn that money into crypto if you want. We have a new live show that they're doing called The Table. It's actually live right now.
Or it's about to. Yeah, are they live? Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm supposed to.
Is it live right there? Justin, will you wake up? Justin, wake up! Wake up!
I think they're supposed to be going live right now. I'm supposed to actually, as soon as I end this, they wanted me to join their stream. So I'm going to be in there on that stream here in just a second, as soon as we wrap this up. But
Bullish Charles Marlin says DZ's 5'10", Ben's 5'4".
Oh.
It's incorrect, guys. Incorrect.
Well,
so you guys go check out New Money Gang. Go watch that live show. Support that.
I just dropped a link in both chats, so if you guys Twitch and YouTube could roll over there,
go click it.
The party going.
Hey, click it or tick it. All right, guys. That's all I got. Be blessed. Big boy out.